Good morning, traders. It's Mark here from the day trading room. Time is coming up to 11 o'clock in the morning, London time. Changed to the setup and the way I'm going to do these vlogs. Now, what I'm going to do is looking through my YouTube videos. 15 to 20 minutes is too long to sit through for me to review, and I guess anyone who's interested in what I'm doing is just too long. So what I'm going to do is trying to cut these down to 5 or 10 minutes long. I'm going to talk through the best and the worst trade of the day, or the trade that stuck in my mind the most during the day anyway. So that should be better in terms of being able to review a lot quicker. So while it's fresh in my mind, let's talk about yesterday's trades on the Dow. Just a couple of trades for me, and you'll see why in a minute. Um, Still watching the Nasdaq because it's out of sync at the moment with the ES and the Dow. And often, if it's holding up and then breaks, you get that break that you want in the Dow. So if I can bring in the Nasdaq here, hopefully we can see it. So as you see, yesterday it was held up around this level, the Nasdaq, and that was, even though the Dow was chugging down, it wasn't allowing it to get going. So anyway, I was waiting for that to break, really, just to give us a little bit of a heads up. Front run it very slightly because I saw it starting to break on the Nasdaq. But anyway, week I'm looking for a short. My ultimate target is the gap fill. Um, but also, if I get a low tick reading, I'm not gonna look gift horse in the mouth. So I took the short there. On that pop up, ticks pulled back to zero. Been nice low tick reading. Hadn't had obviously the data came out, which was pretty meaningless at 3 o'clock. So what you get often is, if you don't get a reprice on the data, you get a continuation of what was happening early in the morning. So that's what happened there. Waited for a little pop up just to get short on. There's the short on the pop up there. Ticks pulled back to zero almost, and then we just start to roll over, and usual things scaling out at 10. And then I decided to come all out on these low ticks here. What time were we here? Quarter past, and by that time the Nasdaq had done a double bottom, so I was just a little bit cautious just here. Just started to double bottom and a range filled, so I took it all out and just put a bit in the bank on that. So that was okay, pretty pleased with that. Nothing major. Would have been nice to run onto the gap, but a good read nevertheless. Next trade was this. This was a horrible trade. It was a good setup. We double bottomed. Let's have the drawing pen out. We'd done a double bottom here uh, on that low. We've got a nice divergence in the ticks, a good push higher. Actually, looking back on it, okay, the volume here wasn't as great, but again, I'll show you the Nasdaq chart. Good volume there, so it looked okay, good ticks, and I thought this was a bull flag. I read that as a bull flag. I expected us that we hadn't filled the gap, hadn't gone to a new low, that we're now going to revisit that high at the very least. That was my expectation anyway. So there was my entry there, just a little pullback in the ticks, and it just drifted. I gave it a little bit of time. In actual fact, that's incorrect. My entry was at this zero here, on this pullback to the zero ticks here. So I gave it a bit of time, and in reality, when it started to drift off and the tick started to go to a new low, I should have ditched it. So this is probably the worst trade of the day, even though I quite like the setup. In actual fact, it looked better on the Nasdaq, but I thought that we'd perhaps revisit that high. Anyway, it rolled over. I gave it too long, and then they're getting stopped on this candle here that just chugged through that low there. So took a stop there. Didn't even get one scale. No scale outs at all. Full stop. So yeah, spoilt the day really, that one. Um, just misjudged it in hindsight. Could have looked for a bit more volume. VWAP's there. 50% actually isn't far off if I'm looking at this correctly. Yeah, there's the 50%. So hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have been so aggressive with it. But I just thought we'd get one more pop, but we didn't. Anyway, so that was that from yesterday. Oil, I had a few scalps, but nothing of any interest really. Ended up about flat on oil, or down a bit of commission money. So yeah, not a great day. Yes, not a great day yesterday. Um, Day before was okay. Let's um, here we go. This was it. This was a nice little trade. This is a good little setup. Um, Oil on the day before yesterday, on the well, which is a Thursday. On the Wednesday was sorry, on the Tuesday was good. You know, it was good. It was about a 55 tick profit in total. A few trades. I'm not sure if I've marked them down. I've just moved over to a new office now, so things were a little bit up in the air. I didn't do any trading on Monday, or very light trading anyway, just getting settled in. Um, no, I haven't marked them on oil, but it was a 55 tick gain on Tuesday, so pretty pleased. Anyway, this is the trade I wanted to talk through on the Dow. Didn't get involved after this. It just starts to go quiet at lunchtime. You have to excuse this alert. I've got a volume alert set on oil, but it goes off quite a lot pre-market. I didn't get involved in the evening. I did this nice trade though in the morning. This is a good setup actually, and one to watch. The gap is lower. Gap is lower. The gap is out of the range as well. So there's inherent weakness there. You expect the ticks to be low. I'm also looking at how high the ticks can get on this drive up. And now I don't know if you've looked at the videos before, you'll know that on a gap lower, I'm either looking for this drive, pull back and follow through, or a counter trend move that starts to fail, some sort of signal of fail and rolls over. And that's exactly what we got here, which was a nice little trade. Counter trend move up. It's okay, but it's chugging along. It's steady. Volume's dwindling though. Ticks are going to a new high, yes, but if you look at how high they're going to 350, something like that. Nothing magnificent. There's your first little swing high. There's your second. Now, expectation is perhaps for the range to fill, and I'm aware that obviously the scenario when at the moment with the longer term chart, then the wind is behind it in a bullish sense. Even though we have consolidated for a week, last week around the highs, and we've started to roll over this week. So, there is some sort of there are some short trades to be had. But anyway, nevertheless, this is the setup. The first high, second high that just fails, starts to roll over. I've got a pretty quantified risk. I can take the trade. I can size it up effectively because I know the risk is there. I want to be out there, by the way, because if it does revisit, then there's obvious targets of gap and range fill, which is yesterday the prior day's low. I would have liked the ticks to be a little bit lower here, but I'm still happy to take it because it's a setup nevertheless in the whole larger scheme of things. There's the short entry. Ticks rolled over nicely for me. Gave me a little scale here just as the tick started to pull back down to this minus. I've put these blue lines in, by the way, because I think I might take these off again, but when it was quiet, it was literally, that was the sort of range we were getting, plus to minus 500. So yeah, just scaled out as we popped into this low, and then as we put a new low in the ticks, I gave it a little bit more. I just thought, okay, we've broken through there, let's just see now if it can break again. It didn't, and I ended up coming out of that level there, which was around a 23 or something. So yeah, that was a nice trade. That it was a nice trade. Could have held one on for a little bit more. Yeah, maybe I could have done. But anyway, that was a trade, and it worked out well. So that's all I've got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. This is the sort of format we're going to do from now on. Going to talk through a couple of trades, not the whole lot, because I think there's more benefit to be had by talking through the good and the bad. And as I say, I think that was the best trade from the last couple of days. And even though this was okay set up, it appeared at the time, it just didn't work out. And in hindsight, looking at all the things I had against me, I probably shouldn't have taken it. But if I did, I probably should have had a really pretty tight stop under that level. And in actual fact, normally on those momentum type trades, I do use a tight stop. Not sure why I gave that a little bit more room. Must have been some reason for it. But anyway, you pay the price on that day. So looking forward to today. See what happens. And we'll get some good trades. But good trading, guys, as always. Manage the risk, and back in another video shortly.